Hey guys, welcome back to the Prehistoric Life podcast. Let's go ahead and go on our expedition and check out our new dinosaur for this week. So this week, you can see I've replaced the Brachiosaurus skull. Not permanently. I will probably be rotating it out here and there with some other skulls and claws and other things that I have. But this week, it matches our dino, the velociraptor. Y'all voted, and this week, y'all are getting velociraptor and the historiography of paleontology, which basically just means the history of paleontology. So, let's go ahead and dive into the velociraptor. And allow me to also get another second to see if I have another velociraptor skull that's smaller maybe and easier to handle. Nope, apparently I do not. It was worth checking for. So let's dive right into this thing's head. So this thing, it's got the more sharp snout for not striking. It wouldn't strike like that. This thing is actually a mold, by the way. So for all of you thinking I'm just handling this as a real fossil, don't worry. All my real fossils are locked away safe, but I will show you those eventually. But as you can see, it's like a small theropod, means it walks on two legs. It's got its teeth, seems to have some kind of overbite. It's got the sharp, narrow snout. It's actually a lot smaller. So, in Jurassic World / Park, they are portrayed more like this. So they are more reptilian. They're way bigger than the average human. And they're more upright, which is not scientifically accurate. This is the Jurassic Park. And also, I just have this. Just thought y'all guys would probably want to see that. So here's some good fossil structure. The only thing that this thing would actually be missing would be like, what would you call it? Feather imprint. So if you took if I really wanted to, I'm not going to because I don't want to damage this thing. I could take like a Dremel or some kind of pick or something and just kind of carve it into the thing there. But this is actually fairly accurate. It's got the more bird backbone, femur, bird wing. So Velociraptor is actually more bird-like than you would believe. So it's really tiny. Like really short, really tiny. And they got more like wings and backbone like a bird. They're more built like birds. So they got the kill claw, of course. Hang on. We got that right here. Of course, you have Velociraptor kill claw. Why wouldn't you? I have a metal one hanging up over there. Allow me to grab it. So this is probably too big. This one is actually like scientifically sized, but this one is a lot bigger. But it's still just the same structure. It's just scaled up. But this is a Velociraptor kill claw. So it was on the So if my hand was its foot, well, actually I can just show you. This thing, diagram. This thing's a lot better of a diagram. So, of course, you got the backbone, the longer tail. It would probably be covered in feathers and go out. And of course, you have the kill claw. So, what it would do is it would probably on smaller prey pounce and take its kill claw. It was very retractable, so it could go up and then down. Like kind of tap it a little bit, like your toe. I mean, like your finger, like your toe. I mean, you can like tap your finger. You can tap your toe. It could do that with it. So it would pounce on prey. So let's just say this is prey and take its claw and hook it in there. Or if it had like a hunk of meat, it would probably more like a troodon. It would hook it up and rip it off. Hook and rip, of course. So, of course, I'm gonna leave this up for a little bit while I talk about it. You got the fossils. You got the I forget what the eye ring is called. I'm probably going to eventually do something on Prehistoric Park with Nigel Marvins. Not with him. I would love to do that. So if Nigel Marvins, if you're somehow listening to this, please get in contact with me and we will do that. Please, I am begging you. That would be amazing. But it's got like an eye ring that makes it so this bad boy, the velociraptor, could see in the dark a lot easier because it's bigger. I'll move that out of the way so I can get into some other stats. So this thing could get about 5 feet ish long at like max. So probably like, well, length is kind of hard because you could get like 5 to maybe 10. Because length is like, I mean, you're going blah. So this thing weighs about 45 to 130, kind of like a small dog. And it would be like the largest ones are like maybe 4 or 5 feet, maybe only 4. But they go from anywhere from like 2 to like 4 feet. This diet was small, medium, and dead animals. These things were scavengers, very much so. As fossils were found in Mongolia and Central Asia. They're small carnivores. They lived in deserts or plains, mainly deserts. Sometimes like desert plainish things. It hunted in packs of like 3 to 12. Strong back legs for fast speed, big sickle toe claw, the kill claw for slashing and cutting. And they actually had feathers. So that's actually something that people get very wrong. Is that people think that the more scaly thing, like the Jurassic Park logo. Look, so like people think they're more scaly like this when they more have feathers. So they probably more had big old feathers. You get to see my ceiling fan. Haha. See, they probably had a lot more like feathers than they did have like scale. Well, they probably had like scales or something under their feathers, but they were more feather like. This is actually a turkey feather for who's ever wondering. Um, that down there. So yeah, they were actually more feathered, and they were discovered by I'm going to Peter Kaizen. Did I butcher that? I don't know. On August 11th, 1923. So, for who's ever curious about that, they were discovered by Peter Kaizen. And they have lived anywhere from 70 to 75 million years ago. So that is actually in the Cretaceous era. So that's, let me move the skull. That's late Cretaceous. So 70 to 75 is the Maastrichtian era. I'm still struggling with those. Bless me. But the Maastrichtian era, give or take, to about I'll give you the. Oh gosh, dang, I'm struggling with these, man. Campion, Campion to Maastrichtian era. So Velociraptor, what do I think? I think Velociraptor. Honestly, this is my opinion. It only got its hype from Jurassic Park. You're not really going to convince me otherwise. Honestly, I believe that it only got its hype from Jurassic Park. And that's because you get these giant beast lizards coming out. And everybody's like, whoa, is that what Velociraptor really looked like? Dang, that thing's a monster. It didn't. It didn't. The only thing that saved it is Utah Raptor. When Utah Raptor was found, they were like, okay, well, nobody's going to care about something called a Utah Raptor. Velociraptor sounds way cooler, way more dangerous. So we're going to mess around with Velociraptor. We're going to scale up Velociraptor, and it was only actually like the Utah Raptor. Do I actually have a Utah Raptor sickle claw? I'm going to check real quick for you guys. I'm not seeing Utah Raptor. I do not have a Utah Raptor sickle claw, but I do have Mega Raptor sickle claw. For anybody that's interested, that's Mega Raptor sickle claw. But we're not going to talk about Mega Raptor today. That's a different video all on its own. But honestly, I think these things are kind of overhyped. Are they cool? To me, yes. To any actual paleontologist, yes. But to any like average Joe, where they're like Velociraptor, and they think of this thing, and you're like, no, it's a tiny little feathered like dog chicken. They're gonna be like, oh, well, that's whatever. But do I think this is cool? Yes. Like, I mean, like, look at that thing. This thing still has like a monster skull. I mean, granted, it like fits in the palm of my hand. Not really. But like still, it's still very cool. But do I think it's overhyped? Yes, I do. Is Velociraptor cool? Yes. Is it overhyped? Yes. Honestly, they should have just stuck with whatchamacallit, Utah Raptor. They should have just hyped up the Utah Raptor. That would have been so much cooler. And well, that was this episode on the Velociraptor. Please tune in next time for the historiography of paleontology, which is the history of paleontology. So I'm going to put this thing back up here so that y'all can look at it for a little bit. And remember to follow on the Instagram and on YouTube. YouTube, y'all guys get some extra content a little bit early because I still trying to figure out YouTube and how to, extend things. But I'll give y'all a little bit of time to look at that. And I guess I'll toss. No, I'm not going to toss this reptile boy up. That's not accurate. But I'm your host, Eric Crawford, signing off. Keep it prehistoric. I mean, check this bad boy out. Velociraptors are really cool. I'm your host, Eric Crawford. Keep it prehistoric. Remember to follow me on YouTube and Instagram at Prehistoric Live Podcast. Signing off. Keep it prehistoric. Goodbye.